I am Vinnie Tortorich, folks. Your good intentions have been stolen, but don't worry. I'm here to help you get them back. You may be soft and succulent at the beginning of this process, but hang in there. Before long, you will be lean and mean, guaranteed. Yeah, Anna. Did your papa tell you about right and wrong?
Sure.
Yeah, of course. You probably couldn't even hear the song, right?
No, I think it was the Sopranos theme song.
Yeah, it was Blue Moon.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Papa never told you about right and wrong. Yeah. All right, Anna.
I like it when you do that deep Cajun voice.
A deep that part right there.
Yeah, that's awesome. You need to do that more. Your sling blade / kind of sounds like your dad too.
Oh yeah. My dad.
Your dad is Scatman Crothers mixed with sling blade.
The guy played solo at my nephew's wedding. He brought his saxophone, his 65 or 70-year-old saxophone, which, by the way, half the keys were sticky, like they barely work.
He didn't care
because he doesn't. Broken reed, and the guy can't hear, and he played some second line, bringing him in, from the one thing into the dinner procession. My dad single-handedly did that. Can't hear a damn thing. Probably couldn't hear, but did a damn good job. 85,
I bet.
Still blowing the crap out of a horn.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the guy can play music. Something that just never
get
happened
after it, Cy.
Never happened for me. Anna, we're going to talk about holiday eating today.
That's right. Part 2.
But before we do that, I want to say this.
Okay.
I was talking to one Miss Gina Grad yesterday.
Okay.
On this very show. Well, that show is going to come out probably before this show.
That's true.
I was recording it yesterday, and she was telling me about she made taco meat, but I always take the ground beef because it's easy, right? And it's so easy to just take the ground beef, throw it in the pan. I do about 1.5 pounds for me and Serena. I just hit it with a couple of hits of your taco seasoning, and I put extra salt because you know me with the salt.
Right.
I just brown it up, and then while I'm doing that, Serena is chopping the cilantro and the jalapenos.
Does she call it coriander?
Coriander. Yes, she does.
Yes, she does.
And she's getting she takes the heavy cream, not the heavy cream, but the creme fraiche, and we mix a little bit more of the Anna. We
bump it with the dust.
Yeah, not the same dust. We do it with the dill dust.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah, and then of course we chop up some avocados, and you have a taco bowl.
It's great.
Well,
I do these at least once a week too because it's just so easy. It's
easy, and it's the best meal ever.
Everybody likes it.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. All the best part of a taco without the shell. Right. And Gina was telling me that one of the fan favorites at her house is she will do it with, she'll just take the steak and strip it up, and turn it into, what do you call that? Pulled pork.
Are you talking about like
she takes
steak, like she slices it into?
I guess, or just maybe
she shreds a roast. Whatever.
But she was telling me she uses the Anna dust on that, right?
The barbecue, probably.
No. She uses. I asked her, and she goes, "No, we go with the taco seasoning." Yeah, I wouldn't have ever. And she makes the tacos like that with the beef.
The taco seasoning is very popular. In fact, it's been sold out for the past almost 2 months, and it's been killing us. But look, you know what? It's really good.
Let me tell you what people have to do.
Okay.
Do they have a way where they can be on a waiting list? Or
yeah. You can enter your email, and people do.
Go do that, because, as you know, we're back in service now with the vitamin D.
Oh, good. I'm going to get mine soon then, because I have a subscription.
Get it today, because you mean you have a subscription?
No, I have a subscription, so I'll be receiving it soon then.
The deal with that is, we could have bought some substandard vitamin D product to mix together, right? I refused to do it. I said, that is not the commitment I made to people with purevitaminclub.com. I would rather people go, screw you, I'm going to go get my vitamin D somewhere else, than to put out not the best product. I wanted to put out the best D3 in the world, and they're not all created equally.
Right.
And I wasn't willing to sacrifice what I promised with this company. So it was, and by the way, somewhere like 96% of the people dutifully waited, which
including me.
When you're doing something right, people will wait.
Yeah.
Right? People will wait. And so it's back in. We have a lot of it now, but a lot of people were on waiting lists for it, and the whole thing, everyone's getting served. Everyone's getting what they need. So I get it, man. But folks, go to annavocino.com. By the way.
No, eathappykitchen.com.
I'm sorry, eathappykitchen.com. Go check out everything there, because I don't know about you, Anna, but we're getting into fall days here. And I've been using the gravies a lot more at night. You know, it's football on Thursday night.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you, sauce season is back in full swing.
Full swing. Sundays, I'm watching the game. You know, last week I took your dust and I made my own version of
that's right. The wings.
With the wings. This week I'm making the, you know, you call it the bachelor's chili. I call it the 3 crime chili.
Mm-hmm.
With 3 proteins.
I call it Vinnie's bachelor chili.
Yeah. But it's sausage and it's meat. It's all in there. And at the end, I cut eggs in half, throw it in there. And I take Anna's. I'm going to do it with the arrabbiata this time.
Ooh.
Because it's Sunday. Why not?
Yeah. Live a little.
Yeah. Sometimes I do it with the pink crema. Every now and then I'll do it with the puttanesca.
So good. I made my first stutenesca of the season, which is just whatever meat you have, or if you want to go super cheap, just get cheap stew meat or like a cheap sirloin and just cut it, because that's the cheapest cut of meat that yields the most for filling your belly. And, you know, you season it real well, salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, which is going to be the everyday dust that comes out soon. But so you season that, throw in, you know how you go and you buy all these vegetables, you're like, I'm going to eat these vegetables, and then you don't eat the vegetables, and then they're kind of going bad. So you take the onion and the celery and the olive oil, and you saute everything. You could throw in whatever vegetables you want, throw that meat in there, put a jar of the puttanesca and cover it and cook it for as long as you possibly can. And I call it stutenesca, and it is insanely good and will fill you up for days. The
best Jewish porn star name ever.
Stutenesca.
Stew meat.
Oh, stew meat.
Yeah.
Well, the Jewish Italian porn star name is Stutenesca.
Yeah. It almost sounds like one of the cars that Ferrari offers.
That's true. You want to get the Stutenesca. So that's great. Yeah, but no, we have the thing where you put your email address in, and just make sure that you do order it, because we keep having to make these in small batches and it's driving me nuts. And the other thing is, we will always pull some back to make sure our subscribers are able to get it, because we don't have as many subscribers as you do, you know. So we do reserve a little bit. So the people who have subscriptions have been still receiving taco, because we have like 7 twin packs left that are allocated for the subscriptions until we get the new shipment of taco seasoning in. So we will always do that. But yeah, it's very popular, and I see why. It's so good, and there's no sugar in it, and it's like
on everything.
I don't need to add salt to it, but
it just goes on everything. You know, it's that kind of thing. Any kind of Mexican, you know, we make the guacamole fresh.
Yeah.
At home.
Put it in there. It's good in there.
I just hit it. You know, I always go, pff. That's the way I just I throw it at it. Right. And
you know, the spice mix tahine, right? You know, tahine.
I don't know.
Tajine. It's something that they put in LA. They put it on street corn. They put it in guacamole, but it has sugar in it. And so but it's lime. It's like crystallized lime with basically a taco seasoning. So all you have to do is, when you make your guacamole, sprinkle the taco on it or stir it in, and then add extra lime. And it's like seasoning with tahine, which everyone's obsessed with tahine. I'm like, do your own tahine without sugar.
Yeah, I didn't even know about that. So
good.
Yeah. Anna, look, the stuff is amazing. I love it here. Hopefully they'll love it wherever they are. But
I have a question for you.
Go on.
Did you wind up doing your class with 10 people?
I did.
How did it go?
It didn't, I would like to say it went better than I thought, but that would be underselling it. I thought while I was doing it, it's like, I hope that I got a lot out of it because each person asked a question that every other person, because people were just sitting there the whole time, nodding their heads in agreement. Right. And, a lot of people, like by the time I got to the third or fourth person, one person said, "Oh, you answered my question," and someone else had a question that I didn't even consider. So I've moved on to my next question, and people were doing that the whole time. They were getting their questions answered. It was really good, right?
That's amazing.
So,
are you able to turn that into like a podcast episode that people could hear?
I'm going to either do one of two things. I might turn them into podcast episodes. I might collect them all. And you know how I used to do 10 for 10s?
Yeah.
I might, once I have like 10 of them, I might offer it so that people can hear, here's for $10, you can hear everyone else's problem. Because it helped the people that had already lost a lot of weight. I think that this can help other people do other stuff. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them yet, but I asked everyone's permission. It's like, look, can I use this in social media? And they said yes.
Great.
So we'll see what happens down the road. They might just get released as podcast.
Are you doing more of them?
Yeah. So here's what happened. The one, I'm always looking for the thing I did wrong. And apparently I did one little thing wrong. And that
to hit record. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I forgot to go and do it. No, someone wrote to me on Twitter. Actually, a couple of people did and said, "Hey, I wanted to join in. I heard you guys talking about it, but I don't do Facebook. So I didn't know that it was available." So
by the way, this is the emails I receive all day, every day.
Right.
I don't do Instagram. I'm not on YouTube. I don't follow. I didn't get your email. And it's like, I know, I'm sorry.
But here's the deal.
Yeah.
I never thought anyone would want to do this. So
of course they do.
We just put it on Facebook and it filled up immediately. Right. So I went, okay, that true enough. Not fair just to put it on one social media platform where people might not be. So I signed up. There's another one we're doing tomorrow evening. I've adjusted the time a little bit. Instead of 8, we're doing it at 7.
Okay.
That was another request. Can we do it a little earlier for the people on the East Coast? So I split the difference. And I only did it through if you're on my email mailing list, as you know, it's not something I take advantage of very often, but if I have something to say, so I'll put it up on that. And my understanding from Serena and Debbie was that it sold out in a minute or in minutes. I think they said a minute.
Yeah.
So it's popular.
And by the way, your email goes to my junk folder, even though your email is in my address book. So, this happens all the time. And my emails go to people's junk folder. Like my New York agent called me the other day because she kept emailing me like, where's your audition? Where's your audition? I kept resending it. I was like, here it is. And then I finally called her and she's like, I've gotten no emails from you. And then she looked in her junk folder and I was like, you've been my agent, my New York agent for like 15 years. Why all of a sudden did it decide to just put my email into spam?
Because it does.
So that's what I'm saying. Just make sure you check the junk folder.
Yeah.
Because and also too, sometimes you guys reply to my emails and they go to junk, but I just I try to remember to check it once a day.
Yeah. The whole where they go thing is crazy, but
we don't know.
We're
trying our best, trying to get information out there.
And I've been told that I have a crazy high open rate.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but somewhere like it's always between 67 and 75% of people.
That's amazing.
My email, because they know I'm not sending them unless I mean some business.
Right.
And I get emails from people in this space 2 a week, 3 a week.
Right.
And I'm sure some experts telling them to do that. Not what I do. Not what I'm ever going to do. Because
I send 1 to 2 times a week, but I always have something to share. Like, it's not like
it's got to be something to share. Okay.
It's an interesting thing. By the way, somebody did write, because I had people vote on the cover, the book cover, and I did write, somebody wrote, where can I pre-order the book? And I'm going to tell you guys right now, when it's time for pre-order, I'm going to post it everywhere. I'm going to be so sick of myself. Y'all are going to be so sick of me posting to pre-order the book, but I when it's ready, probably in a few months. I don't think it's going to be ready anytime soon.
We'll have Anna on the Friday show talking about it on the Monday show, all of that stuff.
It'll be there. Don't worry. If you follow me anywhere or somewhere, you'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to keep that a secret.
And a holiday time is coming up. And I know that because I just told Serena it's time for me to re-up the Hallmark channel.
That's right. So you can see I'm going to, of course, our family watches every year A Very Charming Christmas Town, which takes place in Solvang, where we live.
I'll be watching that one. That's an old favorite. Most of the ones are in fake Vermont. When I say fake Vermont, they're done in
Toronto.
in Toronto in the summer.
Right.
And that's part of the beauty of it for me. It's like they got the fake snow falling.
So fake.
Snow hits their hair and it never melts.
Right.
And the people in the background.
And it snows in Solvang. We were like, doesn't snow in Solvang.
Ever. Yeah. It could snow in Solvang. It could once a year, but it doesn't.
But
the bottom line is that I like watching the extras in the back.
Yeah.
You know, it's supposed to be snowing and blizzardy, and you look at them in the back and they got their jackets open and going, oh, this is take number 12. Jesus Christ, I'm melting back here.
Exactly.
Sweating.
Oh, Thanksgiving, I have to say. Thanksgiving is my biggest time of year. Do they do Thanksgiving Hallmark movies, or are they just holiday?
Yeah. Home for the holidays. There's a couple, you could find them.
I need to see a Thanksgiving one.
It's not just Hallmark. There's a couple of other groups that will do them. But Hallmark is the best.
Yeah.
When it comes to the schmaltzy, really bad acting, just the whole deal. And I love it.
They're amazing.
So with that in mind,
it's time to prep.
Yeah, look, people are asking me already in the consults, in the private 101s. Yeah, I still do those. You can still sign up for those. Oh, people are asking me all the time on the, in the consults. They'll say, I know you talk about it on the show, but really, how do you handle the holidays?
Right.
And folks, I'm not kidding. I don't make up anything special for this show. What you see and what you get on this show is me.
It's real life.
Yeah, it's real life. I'm not making it up. I
appreciated last week how you talked about how you guys handle Halloween. I really did. I thought we were talking about all the holidays, but we needed to do a deep dive on Halloween. So I appreciated, you talking about that. You're like, I'm not going to be a Halloween curmudgeon. I'm going to get into the spirit of the day, but it's one day. Now, Thanksgiving is an interesting thing because it's an entire meal based on carbs with stuffing and green bean casserole with the flaky, what is it called? The jerky fried onions and sweet potatoes and mashed potatoes and biscuits and rolls and Parker House rolls and whatever you do for your crescent rolls, It's the gravy has starch in it.
How did we get to that? Because everybody, auntie.
I don't know. I have
watched
the history of Halloween and Thanksgiving on the History Channel, and it's interesting, but it's obviously it's a commercialized thing, but we love it. We Americans, we love our food. It has to taste good, and we love our carbs, and that's part of the problem. It's a big problem. So when you're starting NSNG, people want to know, well, how am I going to do? Can I do a low carb version of stuff? And over the years, I've written so many NSNG Thanksgiving recipes. And for example, the cauliflower mash in place of there's parsnip puree or cauliflower mash in place of mashed potatoes. I do have a candied yams recipe, but it does use a little bit of sugar, but it's definitely not your grandma's traditional candied yams with all the marshmallows and whatnot. So what else? The wild mushroom and green bean casserole. There's a squash souffle that's a no sugar added, great way to do a candied yams like recipe. It's got that, that fall spice, the pumpkin spice, not pumpkin, but pumpkin spice. I even show you how to roast a turkey. So easy. Never be afraid of a turkey. It's the easiest thing to make if you want to make a turkey. And gravy too. You can do a lower carb gravy. You do need a thickener, which we use arrowroot powder. Or you can just, you don't have to have a thickener, and you can just boil down the juices, the drippings from the turkey, and do it like an au jus as opposed to a gravy. So it's up to you. We have the broccoli leek in heavy cream casserole. We have the cauliflower gratin, which is a mac and cheese substitute. And that's soup. And by the way, and it's also a scalloped potato substitute. People like to use that. I also have a zucchini mac and cheese that's a little more labor intensive, but the cauliflower gratin should be on everybody's menu. It's such a crowd pleaser. And if you have been making the scalloped potatoes all these years, like I was, you have to boil the potatoes just right. You have to peel the potatoes, wait for them to cool, peel the potatoes. Then you have to scallop them either with a knife or you use a mandolin, and it's a starchy mess and it takes forever. Cauliflower gratin, you throw cauliflower, cream, the cheese, the salt, the pepper, the onions in a pan, and you bake it. It's so easy. So I'm throwing these out off the top of my head. I have a whole list, and I'll make sure I send it to Leona to put in the show notes. But I just want you guys to know that you can have control over what you're doing, because Thanksgiving, we always say, yeah, Thanksgiving's just one meal, but really people do Friendsgivings. You have the leftovers. And by the way, Vinny, I also want to address this too. Some people decide they want to just have the carbs and they don't care. They're just going to do Thanksgiving. And we're not saying you have to do Thanksgiving anyway. We're just offering you solutions if you want to do an NSNG Thanksgiving. And some of you write me and say, I don't even like Thanksgiving food. I'm having steak. I'm like, great. That's awesome. Like, you get to choose. I just ask that you guys don't fight about it in the groups. Just like help each other, support each other. That's all I'm saying. You will not be encouraged to post your carb pictures though with the groups. I think that's forbidden. So just know that if you're going to go hog wild on Thanksgiving and do your thing, that is your absolute right to do it. But just know that like in the groups, don't post pictures, and you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was going to go in that direction too. So people always want to know what I do for Thanksgiving. Generally, we don't have a turkey. I don't know if we will have a turkey this year or not. I'm going to go with no, because I don't like turkey.
Yeah, you're not a turkey guy.
I'm not a turkey guy, and I like our feathered friends on the table. I like chicken. I'm not a big fan of duck unless it's done correctly. I like pheasant, and I like some of the smaller fowl, dove and quail.
I have a great roasted quail recipe, but I've never posted it because I feel like I'm the only one who eats quail. If you guys want the quail recipe, let me know. I'll put it on Substack.
A good quail recipe can never be bad.
So good.
So I like certain birds, but turkey and duck are not two of them. So, and when we do have it, I just put up with it, so every maybe third or fourth year. Serena's not a big fan of turkey either.
Yeah. So, then y'all aren't going to do it.
Since it's an expensive meal. And I feel if I'm going to cook an expensive meal at home, I'm going to splurge on a rib roast. Right. So
which I have an amazing recipe for.
Yeah.
That's prime rib roast, standing rib roast.
Yeah. We use your recipe.
I do that at Christmas. Yeah.
So we do a rib roast because it's an expensive meal and I want to enjoy it. Now, when I was in Louisiana with Marie and the gang and everyone was still alive, everybody would bring over their version of, right?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Like, there was a turkey stuffing, and then there was an oyster stuffing.
I was gonna say, we always had an oyster stuffing, which as a kid I was always like, gross.
Well,
and then like, you're a Southerner, you better like your oyster stuffing, and I still don't like it to this day.
I love it.
I do have a NSNG version of stuffing, by the way.
So
guys.
there would be 3 or 4 people would bring the stuffing over, right? And then a couple of different people would bring the cranberry over. And then, you mentioned the sweet potatoes.
Oh, yeah, I've got the cranberry on the site too.
You got the sweet potatoes and the yams. There would be a couple of those coming in. It was almost...
There'd be the nut-topped sweet potatoes and the marshmallow-topped sweet potatoes.
Like, Anna, if they weren't...
It's too much.
When you got a bunch of Italians cooking, you can say, you bring this and you bring that. And you might as well have not even sent out the notice, because they're going to bring over what the fuck they want to bring over.
That's true.
And they're going to bring 3 or 4 things over. And that's just the way it is. And you're not going to stop them. And I remember as a kid, you had to taste everybody's thing. And it drove me nuts. I wanted the oyster stuffing, but I got to taste the chicken stuffing, and I got to taste the cornbread stuffing. It drove me nuts. So as an adult, we do it my way, my house, my rules, right?
Absolutely.
Number 1, I'm the only Italian in the house, because I don't need anyone coming over messing up my meal. Because all they do is yell and scream and bring too much food. The only other time I dined with Italians was Dean Laurie and his family. That was a tradition for like 3 or 4 years. Moved. So the tradition ended.
Right.
But we do it our way. And the carbs are not overly carby. Serena does this incredible salad, green salad. And she makes these special kind of British potatoes for Tallulah. It's Tallulah's favorite thing. There's no stuffing.
If it's someone's favorite thing, do it. Like, I never want to tell people that they can't do their traditional thing.
Right.
But there are those of you out there who still want to have the feels and the flavors. And that's why I figured out too, the traffic on my site and my Substack spikes at Thanksgiving. That is the one that people seem to need the most support with. And generally a lot of those dishes, if you don't make it on Thanksgiving, maybe you do the cream spinach at Christmas with the standing rib roast, so there are a lot of good holiday choices. Now, I can't help you with rolls or buns, or I can help you with stuffing. That's something that think about the idea behind stuffing, Vinny. All it is like you're keeping your scraps of stale bread. That's where it comes from. It's supposed to be stale bread that you pour broth and seasonings and a little bit of onion and celery. That's it.
Yeah. So
we're out there buying tons of fresh bread, then letting it sit out and go stale. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, but if you're not buying bread, you don't need to make stuffing.
You grate it right after it gets stale. Don't you grate it down?
I just crumble it with my hands.
Look,
but no, you have to take fresh bread and cut it and cube it and then let it sit out for 2 days and let it go stale, which is just so funny to me, because the idea behind a lot of these dishes is it's peasant food. It's using leftovers and figuring out how to throw things together. So I do have an almond flour based bread, and it will be carbier than other things. So just know that. But it's still grain free, obviously, and lower carb than having actual, Wonder Bread stuffing. But yeah, no, the idea behind the Thanksgiving meal is you still want to have some good flavors, and you don't necessarily want to just kick yourself out of ketosis or feel the inflammation. And by the way, some people say, I'm going to go hog wild on Thanksgiving. And then I hear afterwards, yeah, maybe I could have curtailed it a bit because I was in a lot of pain afterwards, and maybe the pain's not worth it, but maybe the pain is worth it. I don't know. It's up to you. You get to decide.
I want to jump in right there because,
okay.
I do my rib roast. We have the rib roast,
right?
We have the potatoes there. Usually we have other people coming over, so there are a few more traditional things there. But I get by with the meat. I might have literally one of the potatoes on my plate. It's one of the few times per year, except for Christmas, when I come out of ketosis, because pecan pie is going to be made.
Oh, yeah.
Will be consumed by me.
We're going to get to dessert. We're going to talk about dessert.
But yeah, we will. But I just want to mention this. It's one of my few pleasures in life. I'm going to have pecan pie a la mode. That's going to knock me completely out of ketosis. but I still don't feel sick at the end of it because I didn't sit there and just eat carb after carb after carb,
right.
then have pecan pie.
Right.
I'll sit there and have my meat. I got my espresso machine running. I got that rocking and rolling. I'll probably also do.
Tell them the tip, Vinny. Tell them the tip about the coffee.
Yeah, what I do is after I eat something sweet like that, I just start drinking espressos, and it cuts my brain off from thinking about, oh, I need more sugar. And by the way, if there's any pecan pie left, and usually there is not because everyone enjoys it, it goes home with someone else or it gets thrown away. It does not sit in my fridge because pecan pie will talk to me from that fridge.
Yeah.
Right. And I get it. I get it that you should not mess around with Thanksgiving. Look, everybody knows. I'm going to play a little clip. Everybody knows this clip. It's the macaroni and cheese lady. You remember her?
Mm-mm.
All right. This woman got upset because her niece came over and brought her version of macaroni and cheese for Thanksgiving. And this is very popular. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. I hope I pulled up the right clip, but she is very upset because her niece messed around on Thanksgiving with the macaroni and cheese. Here goes.
Since you fucked up the macaroni and cheese, you're cleaning up all this shit by yourself. Junior, Dejan, nor me are going to help you clean up. We told you don't put that shit in the macaroni and cheese, but you insist on putting it. So since you want to do things your damn way, we're going to do shit our way. We get ready to go upstairs and go to sleep while you clean up all this shit for Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. We love you. But guess what? This shit ain't fair that we couldn't even get a decent thing of macaroni and cheese. We got to wait to go back to Goose for Auntie Karen to make us some damn macaroni and damn cheese. Because you decided to do some bullshit you didn't see off the damn internet. Don't experiment on damn Thanksgiving. Don't experiment on Thanksgiving. Mom, you experiment by your damn self.
With cream and cheese before.
That shit. Auntie Karen gave you a recipe, but you chose to do shit on your messed our shit up.
She is upset and she is right.
What did she put in the cream cheese? I mean, in the mac and cheese, she put cream cheese in?
She got some recipe off of the internet and decided to experiment on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, don't expect
her auntie if you're was not having it.
I'm going to tell you this, and this is true. This is true. If you're going to make a crowd favorite differently than, and everyone's expecting you to make this certain kind of dish, make it first in the first week of November. Make it first in the first week of November and make sure it's okay.
I never
you have to. People write to me this all the time because they tell me, they say, I don't know if I'm going to like these recipes. So I made a few of them beforehand to make sure I like them before I bring them to people's houses. And I say, I respect that game.
You're wrong. I respect
you're
wrong when it comes to food. On Thanksgiving, with tradition, you don't mess around. If your family is expecting macaroni and cheese, you do not come with the internet version of macaroni and cheese. You just don't. Right? That woman was expecting.
No, but then you're basically saying that like nobody should make an NSNG Thanksgiving.
That's for you to decide. Right?
That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying if you were worried about it, make it ahead of time.
If you want to have it in your house, or if you want to make it for you, that's fine. But if
you're talking about taking it over, yeah.
If someone says, "Hey, Anna, you're bringing the mashed potatoes over," and when you get there, you show up with mashed cauliflower.
Oh no, I would never do that. I would never ever
cheese woman.
I would never do that.
Yeah,
I would never do that.
You don't do that to people.
But my candied yams are so famous because I've been making them for 20 years in Los Angeles. The same recipe that's on the site with the least sugar possible. That is what's always requested. So I'm lucky that recipe is one that's always requested every year from the.
Okay, but let me ask you this.
But I would never. I would not agree to bring the mashed potatoes because I don't. That's not what I. You know what I mean? Everybody has their role.
Okay, but let's say
Sarah likes to bring the mashed potatoes because she makes the best mashed potatoes.
So Serena,
so she does it.
Other Serena, Anna. Let's say you go to
other Gina, other Serena.
Let's assume you go to a party.
Yeah.
They're expecting the Anna Vocino sweet potatoes to show up.
Right.
And for whatever reason, you decided, you know what? I'm going to ease up on the cinnamon. I'm going to go heavier with the vanilla. And I'm going to do this and that and the whole thing. And you showed up that it's going to still be delicious because sugar You put sugar on a potato.
No, here's the thing.
But that's
no,
not
you're wrong.
They want the traditional.
Listen to me. Last year, because we drove into Burbank and then drove out that night, we couldn't spend the night for Thanksgiving. I absconded my sweet potato duties to my darling friend, and I won't say her name. She's an amazing cook. And works in the food industry. No, she's not. I might as well just say it. Is Trisha. And Trisha is a food. She produces Top Chef. She produces Master Chef. Okay. She produces all the food shows.
Okay.
And so Trisha goes, I'll do it. I'll do the candied yams.
Did it turn out? No.
It wasn't the same. That's it. To me, it was. I enjoyed it, but people were like, "It wasn't." People expect a thing. I am agreeing with you, but I didn't know you were saying when you're going to someone's house. I thought you were saying when you're cooking for yourself.
This girl brought it over to her aunt's house, and she didn't bring over the traditional macaroni and cheese.
What did she want? Kraft macaroni and cheese, Velveeta?
Maybe, I don't know. But look, some people like canned cranberry. You start making
That's
cranberry.
True. Yeah. People get very mad if they like canned cranberry and you make a homemade cranberry. They get very upset about it.
What's the thing people like when you put the fake onion rings on top? What's that?
The green bean casserole with the jerky onions.
People want that cheap onion on top. Right. It's Americana. See, we never had that. So I don't really know.
I agree to some extent, but that's why my Thanksgiving recipes have to be so good, because this does happen. If you're going to bring over an alternate, it better taste freaking good. So
yeah,
that's where I'm always taste number one.
Right.
And then equally, it has to be NSNG. So if we can't get the NSNG version to taste good, I don't publish that recipe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't do it. But I will tell you, I like Trisha's sweet potatoes, but they were different. And then there were rumblings about how they didn't want something different. So I hear you on that.
Okay. Yeah.
And now poor Trisha, who luckily does not listen to this show. Do not y'all tag her. She's over there doing the Lord's work, making sure we all, slobber over food shows. So
look, it's kind of like the quarterback for the Jets right now. The kid is doing the best he can. Trisha was doing the best he could. She was
trying something different too.
Aaron Rodgers couldn't make her potatoes, handed it to someone who works as a food chef producer.
Oh, she's amazing.
There's no competition.
But at the same time,
the same thing. You see, it wasn't the same. That's what I'm talking about. Anybody else makes the same recipe, it's not going to be Anna making it.
Well, she just did a completely different version of candy.
That's the problem.
I know.
Did you give it a recipe, or she made her own?
No, she doesn't need a recipe from me. Okay. She just makes her own. Well, she contributed an amazing recipe to my second cookbook.
Nobody was expecting
sea bass. So no, but then she also showed up with this giant banana cream homemade caramel pie thing. And I've never been so glad to not be able to eat gluten, because then I was not even tempted. You know what I mean? Yeah. Everyone was losing their minds over this pie. And then I was like, y'all enjoy. I'm so full. I can't even. The pie thing is really tricky. Let's talk about pies. So every year, Sarah makes a pecan pie, an apple pie, and a pumpkin pie. And then Trisha brought the extra pie. Now, we're not going to Burbank this year, so I'll probably just make either my pumpkin cheesecake or my pumpkin pie, the paleo pumpkin pie, which is misnamed because it has heavy cream in it. So the thing that I say in the cookbooks that I'm going to repeat here, when I make a dessert recipe, I figure out how to make it with the least amount of sugar possible to still make it work. Because flavor profiles in a dessert, generally, you have to have some sugar in there, unless you're able to do like a nut or a berry situation. But that's not what pecan pie has, is pecans and sugar and butter.
Right.
And that's part of how the recipe works. So the reason why I do not use the allulose, the maltitol, the xylitol, the erythritol, the monk fruit, I, first of all, hate the taste. And second of all, literally cannot tolerate them. I will immediately get stomach cramps.
It's better to enjoy sugar. Let's just call it what it is.
That's my philosophy.
You're going to enjoy it. That's
you've spoken before about people using it as a stopgap to get them off of the sugar until they can then, but ultimately NSNG is about don't have any sugar at all like a sweet product on a day-to-day basis so that when you do have a little splurge, you have it and then you move on with your life. So that is why I just want to put that philosophy out there. And I think that can be confusing to people. But you say don't eat sugar, and yet there's a dessert chapter. And I was like, yeah, because you have a life, right? You're going to eventually make some cookies for your kids, or you're going to make a pie for somebody at the Thanksgiving, or you're going to, you know what I mean? We
don't say don't eat sugar ever. We're just saying you have to stay away from sugar. But there are a couple of times a year, maybe your birthday, maybe that's a big day in your life. Maybe your anniversary is a big day in your life. Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, what else is out there?
Well, feast days, it's just like these feast days are built into the calendar so that we do enjoy ourselves, you know?
Fat Tuesday. But look, and then you got to pick and choose those. You know, people say,
right, you do.
What do you do on this day and that day? Most days I don't celebrate. The two that I do end up celebrating is Thanksgiving, because as you get older, it's family coming home. It's a homecoming, right? And it's festive, and you want everybody to enjoy themselves. And people enjoy when they're eating, right? So that's one thing. Christmas, same thing. I'm going to be in England again this year at Kristen's, and she's bringing all of us together again at the place. And the problem with that is I'm there for 2 weeks, right? But luckily, Kristen has a gym in her house, and it's got a rowing machine in it. It's got some weights.
Right.
Every day I go do that. There's a large property. I do some jogging and walking every day, even though it's wet and cold. I bring the proper clothes. And when it comes to mealtime, it's easy to pick and you know, there's protein. You know, there's always a big serving thing. There's protein to eat, right?
Right.
I'll have some, you know, it's one of the few times a year when I'll have greenery, salad, and the whole thing, because I'm trying to make my plate look like something, right? Instead of just having meat on it. But there's other stuff there. I just tend to stay away until we have that Christmas meal.
Right.
Right? Because that's the special meal. And look, it's rough. I'm not going to be, you know how tough it is when you wake up in the morning and they brought in like baskets of fresh croissants and this and that, and you name it. You name the European pastry, and it's there.
Right.
It's there. I have to go past all of that every day. I'm not made of steel. I'm not made of stone. Right?
That's good
to hear. I gotta go past that and go to the fridge and get out a couple of eggs and crack them and make them myself.
Yep.
When people are going, hey, Vin, you want one? They don't remember or know that this is what I do and this is how I eat. And usually they're talking to me over breakfast going, so how do you keep yourself so lean? Well, do you really want to hear about it now? Because
we're
about to ruin your breakfast there.
As you're having your second pastry.
Yeah, that bear claw is just not going to be part of what you need to do. You know, but it is what it is, right? Yeah. Look, that's my thing. Everyone's got to figure out what they're willing to do. And then when you do screw up, when you do have that special meal, it's not a screw up. It's called life.
Be intentional.
Yeah. Enjoy. Don't feel
deliberate.
Guilty. Don't feel guilty. Enjoy the crap out of it, but then cut it off. Cut it off.
It's a huge deal, I think, for a lot of folks coming from diet mentality, myself included. It's like if you're going to do the thing, be intentional, deliberate, line up with it. But don't do the thing and then beat yourself up. But also don't do the thing where you're like, I can't possibly have it. And then you're jonesing for the thing the whole time. So like, don't have a push me, pull you with yourself. Decide, move forward, and then leave it and move forward with your life.
The one thing you want to have around the entire time through the holidays.
I know.
What is it?
Villa Capelli olive oil.
That's right. That's right. Tell them about it, Anna.
First of all, if you're going to make a lot of these Thanksgiving dishes, including stuffing, the wild mushroom green bean casserole, you're going to start by sauteing vegetables, and you're going to saute vegetables in olive oil. I know that seems weird because Thanksgiving is a butter heavy holiday, but you can use olive oil to saute your veg. You can use olive oil to fry. By the way, Thanksgiving's one meal, right, Vinny? What if you wanted to fry up some like chicken cutlets, or you want to fry up something else? You can use Villicapalli olive oil.
Exactly.
It's the best olive oil on the planet. What if you're making a little salad dressing? You're going to need olive oil. Make sure you use Villicapalli. It tastes amazing. Go to their site, villicapalli.com. Use the discount code Vinnie, VINNIE. You'll get 10% off your order each and every time. And we always suggest getting about $145 to $150 worth of product. So you can either get get a 3-liter tin and some salts and spices, or a 3-liter tin and maybe another smaller bottle, and then you can decant into that smaller bottle. But you want to do that so that you qualify for the free shipping after using the discount code Vinnie, VINNIE. And yeah, Villicapalli is a necessity in everybody's kitchen, and everyone's NSNG kitchen.
So go get it, enjoy it. Boom.
Hopefully we helped you guys out with some tips. Start thinking about it now. Start planning your menu now. Start planning your activities now. Some of y'all are going to be traveling. You're going to want to figure out stuff ahead of time. Some people bring their own food to the Thanksgiving. I hear that all the time. Or they make a smaller version of the pumpkin pie, or they'll make like little mini cups of the pumpkin pie and they'll take that as their own dessert. A lot of times what happens when people come to my house is that when I whip cream to go with stuff, I don't add sugar to the cream, and people will constantly, I'll put some vanilla in there, but people will say like, oh, I've never had whipped cream without sugar in it. That tastes good. I'm like, yeah, cream is delicious. Heavy cream is delicious. So sometimes you'll be teaching people how to do things with a little less sugar. And then other times you might piss them off, like the mac and cheese girl, poor thing. She was trying her best.
Yeah, look, I agree with her aunt. Her aunt is about our age, and I get it. What are you looking at, Anna?
I don't know. My husband's showing me something. I don't know what it is. If it's not your junk, sir, move along.
By the way, Anna, I saw something last night. Serena saw it too, and we can't unsee it.
Oh, God.
One Miss Gina Grad made me aware of a show called Naked Attraction. Are you familiar?
No.
Oh, she goes, Vinnie, I know you've seen this. I'm right. No.
If it's trashy, I'll probably like it.
It's not trashy. What they do, it's out of the UK. You get to see the person naked before you go on a date with them. We decided.
Are they so twisted in the UK? It's UK and Japan comes up with the craziest reality shows. You're like, what?
What they do is
America, that would not fly. We are way too
behind the
prudish.
screen, right? So there's 6 people behind the screen. They got one person.
You don't see the face, you just see the body.
You don't see anything. They're behind the screen, and then they go, okay, we're going to show you your 6 people. And if it's a girl, it was a girl and she was straight, so there was 6 guys. I didn't think, when Gina mentioned it, I went, oh, come on. I said, Serena, we got to watch something. It's going to be 10 minutes. We will never be the same. I don't think I'm going to ever watch.
How are these people? Do they have parents?
That's what I was like. Who are these people? I felt like Seinfeld. I kept going, who are these people? Yeah. It's hard to understand who would go on a television program completely.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
And we watched the first episode and the second. I don't think I'll ever watch it again because I'm scarred for life.
Yeah.
But apparently there's 6 seasons.
Okay. 6 seasons.
6 seasons. You will be watching tonight.
Wow.
Guarantee.
I'm very upset, but also, yeah, I have to see it. Duh.
Naked Attraction. You can't not see it.
Oh,
it's a train wreck.
God.
It's a train wreck.
I love it. I love a train wreck.
Yeah.
And I love how you're like, it's not trashy. Okay.
No, that's the thing. It's not trashy.
It's classy.
It's not classy either. It's weird. It's weird.
Okay.
And then
have you been watching The Golden Bachelor, by the way? I have not.
We watched the first episode. Serena told me the second episode comes out tonight, but it's Thursday night football night.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll be watching Thursday.
I think I'll binge in a couple weeks. Watch it. Got to stay up to date with my Golden Bachelor, see what's going on. No naked vages for Golden Bachelor.
No, I don't think anyone wants to see that. Anyone.
That's the new frontier.
Oof. All right. So folks,
on that note, keep it NSNG for the holidays, people.
Anna Vocino, go check out all the sauces, all the powders, everything. Go right now before she runs out. That's at eathappykitchen.com. You get the books, Eat Happy, Eat Happy, and Eat Happy 2. And at some point, you will be able to pre-order Eat Happy Italian.
Yeah, I think it'll be several months. It's not supposed to come out for a while.
I know. Isn't it something when you work on something for a long time, and like I've been working on my next documentary. And
yeah, when is that going to come out? Do we have an ETA?
No, it's coming. I like to get them out around the beginning of the year, but I can't say, January 1st or whatever. There'll be a pre-order and all that. I'll let people know. But look, most people, my buddy Corolla, he puts together a document. It takes him years, right? But we travel light and we get it done. We don't, when you hire a bunch of people and they're on the clock, they take their time. With me, everyone who's hired is, hey, you get paid when
when it delivers.
It's amazing how quickly you can get stuff done when they get paid only after I sell it.
Right.
Right. So that's the way we do it. Right. So that's the way it's going fast. Look, there was a guy I was talking to before I did Fat documentary, and we were going to do something together. That was 6 years ago. He's still not done anything.
Right.
Nothing was done. He keeps doing, I need to do another round of funding. At this point, I'm looking around going, what, are you just stealing people's money? Because you keep doing another round of funding.
Right.
Well, you haven't put anything out yet. I did one round of funding and I'm on documentary number 1, 2, 3, 4.
Amazing.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying this is the way it's done.
No, you get it done.
Just go to work.
I want you to know, while we were talking, somebody sent me a message. I'm new to NGNS. I'm looking at recipes and they look delicious. My question is related to sweet items such as pumpkin bars and the pumpkin seed brittle. Are these items okay for NSNG lifestyle? I was under the impression no sugar or substitutes were allowed. I've only been on for 2 weeks. Thank you. We talked about that. So I'm going to send her a note saying, listen to this episode.
Yeah. And also make sure she gets the NSNG my PDF.
That is a must. Go to VinnieTortorich.com, get that PDF. The best $10 you'll ever spend on your health.
You know what to do before you go to Amazon? Go to VinnieTortorich.com, click through the banner, puts a little coal on the fire, gets my train down the track. We mentioned using a mandolin during the show, right? Mm-hmm. You think I found a song where they mentioned the word mandolin?
Mandolin Rain?
No, but here we go. On behalf of Anna Vocino, my name is Vinnie Tortorich. Put life into living, and let's do it with one Mr. Rod Stewart.